Hey guys, this video I'll be doing a tier list, and we've got 38 mice here as you can see, and yes, I'll be talking about all of them, from S tier all the way down to the terrible or garbage tier for that matter. And I'll be doing reviews on some of them since I have not done a whole review on some of them, but some of them I'll be doing a review on since some of them broke or there's just a box because I just want to use one or there's just a box that's broken pretty much. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe and let's get right into the video. So let's see the first mouse. Let's talk about let's start with, actually, let's start with the Razer Deathadder Essential. This is one of the most popular gaming mice because of its budget, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna put this into the terrible / garbage tier. I mean, sure, it's in good shape. The shape is good, the clicks are decent, but the cable to me isn't the greatest. The scroll is not that great either, even though mine does work. But overall, it's pretty in 2026 now. And there are much better options in this list as well, but unfortunately it's going to be in turbo garbage mainly because the sensor is pretty much not the greatest, and I believe the clicks on this mouse are only rated for 10 million uses, and the cable is not really good either. The skates are pretty too. But segments do feel nice, but overall in 2026 it is a mouse that is just outdated, and it's like over 100 grams, so just do not get the Deathadder Essential. It's just not worth it in 2026 since there's probably even wireless options out there too that have better performance than this one too, and they're lighter. So yeah, that unfortunately the Deathadder Essential is going to be in the terrible / garbage tier. Okay, and the next mouse is going to be is let's go with the Sora V2. I got this mouse when I only had the 1000 Hz polling rate, but I'm gonna personally put it into B. Sure, it's a good mouse. The build quality, it was solid. The clicks felt good. The scroll was good. The coding is pretty good as well. But the reason why I'm putting B tier is because now they have the Sora V2 with the 8000 Hz receiver included and the 10 and 10 error. And also we had the whole Vaxi Sora thing going on for over a year, I think, or almost a year. And switches are using on the Pulsar X2 sensor. Sidebands are pretty good as well. Shape is good for claw or fingertip grip as well. Overall, it's a good mouse, and it was like $100 as well. And I believe the Sora V2 8K is also $100. So I'm gonna put in B tier anyways, but it's still a good mouse and also does have web-based software. Okay, the next mouse is going to be let's go with the G502 Lightspeed turbo / garbage tier. One, it weighs 100 grams, even though it's like one of the best selling gaming mice too. I mean, sure, the shape of the mouse is good, but if you're a gamer, do you really need all of these buttons though? To me, this looks more like an editing mouse than a gaming mouse with all these freaking buttons. And I do not like the DPI up and down near the left click. I hate the rubberized sides. and that sniper button, and the scroll wheel was so loud. If you remember that video of that person getting pressed there and like spring that scroll wheel, how loud it is. That was an iconic video back then. But overall, this mouse is just not good in 2026 for gaming. So that's why I'm going to put it in turbo subscribers here, but I'm going to put it above the Deathadder Sensor since it has a hero sensor, but this mouse is also known for double clicking as well, so that's why I'm going to put it into the turbo subscribers tier as well. And one more thing is that if you want to change the switches, oh boy, there's going to be a lot of screws, so I wouldn't recommend doing that with this mouse in RGB logos here. So it's going to be in the turbo subscribers tier. Okay, the next mouse is going to be is, you know what? Well, let's talk about, where is it? The model of wired. So when this mouse was released back in 2019 for $50, like absolutely makes sense. Like, oh, it's just a cheaper version of the Ninjutso Sora V2, which we'll be talking about in this video. But the cable on some of this did break, which mine didn't. The screws and side buttons could be a little bit better. The shape was good for claw grip for me as well. I believe I had this mouse, I got this mouse back in 2020. And the software was pretty at the time, but had a 3360, which was better than the sensor on Deathadder Essential. And it's really, I mean, sure we're like 60 something grams, like in high 60s, but this is a cheaper version of the Ninjutso V2. But I'm gonna put it in turbo subscribers here since it's outdated as well, and I don't use mouse anymore, anyways. And let's see, let's talk about, but you know it's not terrible in garbage. Razer Viper Mini, for me, I mean sure it's a wired mouse, but it's so good for the price. It had a better sensor, and no double clicks. It had a better lifespan compared to the Deathadder Essential. Unfortunately, you know what? I'm going to try to keep it fair. I mean, should have had a Cobra series, but put it in C tier. Actually, no, it's going to have to go to C tier. 2026, I'm sorry. I mean, sure, the cable's better than the Deathadder Essential. And optical switches, Gen 2, so no double clicking. Had actually good side buttons. For price, the skates were good. The sensor had a problem with LED, so that's why it's going to be nice and D tier. And also PC tier, but I mean the whole sensor LED situation a few years ago. So it's going to be in D tier, but it's not going to rush the garbage tier since it didn't have holes away. Like I believe it. About like actually no, I think the original model was like 50 something grams. I don't remember how much it weighed actually. I think it was like 50 or 60, so, but this one was 61 grams as well, and this is a budget and smaller version of Viper V2. But I'm going to put it in D tier, since now Razer doesn't make this mouse anymore, and now it's under the whole stupid Viper Mini signature. This one looks like a $300 gaming mouse. But I'm going to put it into D tier, not in the terrible / garbage tier. Okay, and the next mouse is going to be the Razer Basilisk V2 wired. I'm going to actually put this into C tier. For one, it's just a wired version of the Basilisk V3 Pro, which is my editing mouse. But it does have a cable, and it does have the same switches as the Viper Mini, but it has a better sensor as well. And I'm not sure what sensor it was. I went to like, I think 25,000 dpi or something lower than that, I think. But I'm gonna put it in C tier since I'm not using it since ASUS ROG using wireless mice a bit more. And I do have my wireless Basilisk V3 Pro on my desk right now as well. But I'm going to C tier since it's alright, I guess, for the price and those features, but I'm just going to put C tier actually. So, okay, and the next mouse is going to be is let's talk about, what is it? The original G Pro Wireless. I have to go into the C tier again. When this mouse released, like, I was like, whenever you got this mouse, like, wow, the shape is actually really good. It's comfortable for all gripses. I mean, sure, it's a safe shape as well. It had micro USB, but hey, at least the left-handed supports as well. It was like, what, 80 grams or something like that. It used the Hero sensor. It was like one of the first Logitech wireless mice used the Lightspeed technology. But I just don't like it because also they have, if you get this colorway, it'll check fingerprints. And they did also do that whole like thing with the white and magenta colorways, which were special editions, which was weird considering the Superlight and the Superlight 2 have those colors. And they also did release. They did release the Pro 2 Lightspeed back in 2024, which had USB-C, the Hero 2 sensor, but I believe the weight is the same, which is weird. I guess it's just an updated and modern version with just better specs, which is okay, I guess, since this one does have double clicking issues. So I'm not sure they actually changed the switches in the original G Pro Wireless, so there's no double clicking. Let me know in the comments if they did update the original G Pro Wireless. But I know the Pro 2 Lightspeed exists, which has a USB sensor, light force high ground double switches, USB-C, blah blah blah. I believe the skate design on the Pro 2 Lightspeed is also the same as the G Pro Wireless, but I'm not sure if the double clicking issue has been resolved. But I'm going to put it in C tier just because it's outdated with the original sensor and micro USB. So this is going to be in C tier for me. Okay, the next one is going to be I'm not going to talk about the Model 02 Furlong. For one, my unit has a scroll problem. When I got a box, the design just looks stupid. It sure has 395 sensor, KLGMA per nose, but it looks awful, and overall, just do not get the Model 02 at all. And to me, it looks dumb. It was released after Model 0 Pro, which was no 50 gram range, USB-C, had no holes in it, and Glorious specs. It's like, I don't know what's going on with Glorious, but yeah, that's all I had to say about the Model 02. Okay, enough with Glorious. Now let's talk about some other mice now. And let's see. Let's talk about the G550. The G50. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. The G502X mouse. To me, this is going to be. I'm sorry, I'm gonna put it right there. One, it's more than the Basilisk V3 wired when I got it. And sure, it does have an infinity scroll like this one, but It does have the hero sensor like this one does. It's not the hero 2 if you're wondering. Has this stupid DPI buttons near left click, which I still hate. And here's the thing, right? They have 3 versions of this mouse. One with a wire, that has no RGB. 2, a wireless version, no RGB, called the G502X Lightspeed. And then 3, the G502X Plus, which is wireless, but has RGB. But it's not really a wired one with RGB and a wireless one with RGB. He literally did that with the original G502. There's wired one with RGB, which is the G502 Hero. There's other versions before that wired with RGB as well. With the old Logitech G logo, and the Lightspeed was wireless with RGB. But now you give us 3. One had a wire without RGB, and that's wireless one with RGB, and then another one that's wireless with RGB. Just doesn't make sense at all at this point. But it's going to be C tier, but below the Basilisk V3. Since the Basilisk V3 is cheaper as well, and I think they had the 35K sensor and the new wired one. So, but mine is the original Basilisk V3. Okay, next is going to be a very controversial mouse. Oh boy. Am I crazy? I might see how to put it both. I'm sure this is a controversial mouse. The G309. For one, people thought it was going, when they announced it, it's like, oh, please let it be a G703 Superlight, which Logitech still hasn't given us yet. Takes batteries like the G305 and has the original hero sensor, and this released about a few months or over a year after the Superlight 2. This mouse makes no sense. I mean, sure, the scroll wheel feels better than G305, right? Has a better sensor than the G305, but here's the thing. You cannot change out the dang switches on this thing, I think, since it's an optical switch. I'm not sure if you can, but like it released at a price point, I believe, like $80 or $90. And I'm just gonna have to put it in the terrible subscribers tier. I just can't even talk about this mouse because of how controversial this mouse was in this release. And they called it lightweight too. My current game mouse I'm using, which I'm not done review on, the Deathadder V4 Pro. Really? Or this mouse, right? Imagine if this was the same price. I mean, like, Razer has a Deathadder V3 Hyperspeed. I mean, sure, so, yeah, this is my Deathadder V4 Pro which I'm using, but they have the Deathadder V3 Hyperspeed, which is wireless, has USB-C, better sensor than the G309, and you can just buy the hyper polling or whatever something receiver to have higher polling rates. This something you cannot. They call it this lightweight. And you know why? They just want to freaking say it's lightweight because, like, if you can get this down to 60 grams by buying $100+ Power Play mouse pad. Heck, they don't even have the Power Play original one anymore. They had a Power Play 2 mouse pad, which I heard a lot of bad things about that one too. since some people said it didn't work for them. And that's why I'm putting tutorial size here, but yeah, this looks better than all of them. Okay, next mouse, let's talk about, okay, for Finalmouse's first one we'll mention, the Starlight Pro Tenz. Where did I put this one? I'm not going to put it in D tier or turbo style, which is this mine works just fine, but actually I'll just put it high C tier for now. I'm sure it does have micro USB, I know. But it was like one of the first magnesium mice I ever used. I had a medium unit, and the coating on this mouse actually felt really good. The clicks felt nice. My unit did not have double clicking on it. Sidebars were good, and that Starlight engraving did not get in the way either. And the sure, the scroll was pretty It had the final sensor, which is 3370. But even took this mouse apart, it just says Final, I believe, or something like that. But this is a modified 3370. But I'm gonna see it here since the whole Ultralight X series of mice are out, and I have like 3 minutes to talk about it in this video anyways. But I'm gonna put the Starlight Pro Tenz in C tier. Next, let's talk about the Last Legend. I might just put this, I don't even know, put the Last Legend at. I might just put it right here in high D tier. For one, I'm sure it's the last Starlight mouse. But the thing is that they went for music KLG Iconize, which to me felt nice. But with the Last Legend, they went back to armor on 20Ms. I'm sure the scroll wheel encoder was updated. But overall, I did not like the coating on the Last Legend. I still think the Tenz has a better coating. I believe the Tenz looks way better. I just don't know why they went back to my armor on 20Ms in this mouse. They could have gone with a different switch that's not armor on 20Ms. Because yeah, the KLG Iconize felt better than armor 20Ms in my units. And yeah, there's like 40,000 of these mice, and there's like 10,000 of the Last Legend units, or the Last Legend as well. So yeah, it's like 4,000, 10,000. So I'm just gonna put the Last Legend into high D tier. Okay, and the next mouse is going to be the Razer Viper Ultimate. I'm gonna put this in B tier. This is one of the first wireless gaming mice I've used. And it had the Razer Focus, the Focus Plus sensor, I want to say. I think it had to be the Focus Plus sensor. It went up to 20,000 DPI. I'm not sure how micro USB, but with 74 grams, I know a lot of people weren't a fan of side buttons since it was so difficult to press them. But I haven't had an issue. It's pretty much like a competitor to the Razer G Pro Wireless at that point. And yes, it did have micro USB, had RGB only on the Razer logo, so that's cool, I guess. But it did have rubber sides, which I know a lot of people weren't a fan of. But whenever I got something like I didn't mind them. But now I just don't really like them that much. But I'll put the Razer Viper Ultimate into piece here, but it's not above the Sora V2 to me though. Okay, next mouse is going to be, let's talk about the Viper V2 Pro. I'm gonna say it's here, mainly because it's just a modern version of the Viper Ultimate look. You know, side buttons are right side, so no left-handed support, unfortunately. But side buttons that feel better had the Gen 3 opticals. You can get the Viper Ultimate, I believe, with the Gen 1 and Gen 2, but I had the Gen 1 opticals in mine. The coating is, of course, matte texture, which I know a lot of people did not like. But I had the Razer Focus Pro 30K sensor, USB-C, which is nice to see. But overall, it was just a modern and better version of the Razer Viper Ultimate. But I'm going to put it into A tier, since it's better and also has higher volume support as well. Okay, next is going to be Ninjutso 58 is going to be, this is so fun. I might just put it above the model. So this mouse was back in 2018 when Ninja was all the hype back then, and this mouse only had like about 45,000 units, so 5,000 more than Intense, by the way, I think. Had the Cherry Blossom Blue and Cherry Blossom Rare, which I had a red unit. And the clicks felt nice, the sound was so good. I mean, the shape was like pretty big for some people as well. The cable was good. It was better than the Model O's for sure when the Model released. But the wrong problem was that the reason why it's a terrible such garbage is because people's units had scroll wheels breaking. I had 3660, but I only at 500 hertz, by the way. Discoloration issues on both colors. And that's not really good, but I'm going to put it above the model, but to me it's not going to be above the Model D Wireless. Okay, next is going to be the Ultralight 2. This was Finamouse's last wire mouse, okay? Had better skates, was smaller, but yet 3360, 500 hertz, had the infinity skins, which will get dirty from over time, which I never used them since I believe the cutting on those hertz was pretty good actually. But it's just like a smaller A58, but with the same specs even. I'm sure the cable's slightly different. I believe it's a little more thin. Maybe like 50 grams or a little bit more. I think it's 50 grams or a little bit slightly more, but nothing to talk about the Ultralight too much, but I'm still going to put in Turbo Such garbage too anyways. Next mouse is going to be let's see here. Let's go with the Deathadder V2 Pro. The reason why I'm putting D tier is because one, actually, I might just put it, you know what, it's not going to go D tier, I'm going to put it in C tier actually. I prefer the Viper shape more than Deathadder shape. I mean, back then I used to, but now I'm a Deathadder V4 Pro anyways. But the reason why I use Viper Ultimate more than Deathadder V2 Pro more is because of the flaring on the left and right sides, like right here where the clicks were right there. And it had a reverse side grip, so it was like 88 grams. They also had a wired version, which Viper Ultimate did. which wire versions were obviously lighter since they didn't use a battery. This one also did have micro USB, which had obstacles, which on my unit felt more mushy than my Viper Ultimate's Gen 1. It was because of the shell probably, but the side buttons were definitely better than the Viper Ultimates, but and also did have micro USB and I think I'll say that, and the same sensor as well. But I'm going to put it into C3, and also I forgot to mention is that both of them did have the charging dock if you want to buy the mouse with it or without it as well. I believe it's also like $30 cheaper for both of them if you didn't want to buy it with the charging dock, I believe. But Deathadder V2 Pro going to C tier. Okay, next mouse is going to be let's talk about the original Superlight. I might have to put the original Superlight into B tier. It was a better version than the G Pro Wireless. I just ensure micro USB. I was selling the mouse weight like, but also weighed 60 grams, no RGB, except for the little battery indicator. I want to say, sadly, no left-handed support since the side buttons are right. Had on 20 amps, so no problem. Hopefully, no double clicking problems. I think some people did have double clicking, but my unit didn't. But the skates were pretty, yeah, but I remember whenever I talked about this, I was like, oh, the skates are good. But now they're not. Like over a year later, a lot of people don't like them anymore. And crazy thing that this G309 actually had good skates too, but it's still in this tier. But it does have the original G Pro Superlight had 4 colorways. I don't think it really starts with black and white, then the magenta, then the red colorway, which I don't know why they decided to do that, but put the red colorway on the Superlight 2 series, but not the Superlight 2, but the Superlight 2 SE. And they gave us a sign. I wish they just put the sign with the Superlight 2 SE and gave us the red back for the original Superlight 2. I'm gonna be honest, because the red was really nice too. I think it was better than this or red color type. I think this red looks better than this red. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, Superlight 2, the original one, going to be into B tier. Next is going to be the Superlight 2, and I know I made a video on this mouse, but that was my magenta one, which is right here, since my unit does have flexing, even when I got a box, but I did get a new unit, and that's not the problems, which I'll probably make a video on this one soon, since this one has no issues. But I'll be making another video on this one soon and see if it's any better. But this, I have been using that Superlight 2 as well, more magenta one. Since I was using a different mouse too, but with the Superlight 2, my new one, for now, it's going to be an A tier. I'll see how it holds up for now, and see if it has any, and see what changes. Maybe I should upload a new Superlight 2 video. I'll probably do that maybe later this week. But for now, the Superlight 2 is going to be in A tier. With that white, and if I were to put it when I got the magenta one, it would probably be like D tier. But for now, it's going to be A tier. And I'll do another tier list probably later this year. Alright. The next mouse is going to be is what's the point if you talk about Roccat if they don't have a business and their mice are just going to be in this tier anyways? Alright, next mouse is going to be is the G703. I'm crazy that I'm gonna have to say this, but I'm gonna put it into C tier, but now I got these three. It is, I'm gonna show it's like one of the most comfortable shapes of all time. And we're still asking Logitech to make a Superlight version of that mouse. But now we have other companies doing it for them. We have Pulsar S Prime, which I don't know what happens to this Prime, and the PM1. And then we have T-Evolution. I'm gonna say the T-Evolution probably looks the more accurate looking version of the G703. Bigger side buttons, 50 grams, UCC as well, and higher polling rates as well. And the G703 had the original hero sensor, terrible mouse gates. I'm sure this really looked like that actually. Yeah, you guys said that, and 7 should be. But there's just better alternatives to G703 now. Logitech's not gonna give us a better G703. Which is very unfortunate since I really did like the G703. Alright, next mouse is going to be is the OP18K first S tier mouse. Don't know if y'all can see that. Yep, first S tier mouse. One, really good shape, really nice. The side button's really nice. And switch is 8,000 Hz. Pulling great. Does have wires over the cable is really good. Hot swap switches. Probably one in here who probably all mouse in here has hot swap switches actually, I think. And also they had the V2, which is actually at $950. Coding's great, and I believe it's like what, $50 or $70, something like that. You have a wireless version which has 4,000 wrist pulling rates as well, but it was, to me it's not like going to be my main for long periods of use stuff, but so really honestly like one of the fastest game mice on the market. But if you are looking for the OP18K, so look at the V2 anyway, since I'm not sure if EndGameGear is going to work on the original one anymore. But first S tier mouse is going to be the OP18K. Next mouse is going to be another S tier mouse, and that is going to be the Viper V3 Pro. Basically, tell Razer to make a better Superlight 2, better skates, make it lighter as well, but a better coding as well. USB-C, Razer Focus Pro 35K sensor. And this is first mouse I ever used from Razer that had this smooth touch coding as well. I mean, sure it does attract fingerprints, but personally the coding is just really good. My side buttons are good. Clicks, we're still using the Razer Junction opticals like on the Viper V2 Pro as well. But to me this is better shape than both of them. I like the shape of this more than the V2 Pro and the Viper Ultimate. And that's not for S tier because I'm sure it's not the, it's like, I'm sure it's expensive, but it's not expensive as the Superlight 2, which this mouse sounds good. It's like $149.99, I believe, or something, or $159.99. I think one of the two. And I've used the mouse for a long time, and still is holding up as well, and that's why it's going to be best here. I actually love the Razer Viper V3 Pro. Alright. Sorry. Next mouse is going to be the Razer Deathadder V3 Pro. I'm going to put it in A tier. It's a different shape compared to the Deathadder V2 Pro. But when I got this mouse, unfortunately, it was not the smooth touch coating. I got this mouse before, a year before they got the Deathadder V3 Pro had the smooth touch variant. And the original coating on mine was not the greatest. I didn't like the coating, and that's why I stopped using it. But the shape and everything was good. Same sensor as the Viper V2 Pro. As you see, weigh like, I think the same as the original Superlight. High polling rates as well, and good skates as well. But I want to put an A tier since I'm not really a big fan of coating, but everything else is good except for the coating, which was not the smooth touch coating whenever they added that to the Deathadder V3 Pro. Alright, the next mouse is going to be 305. Oh my gosh. I'm actually put this here just because, I mean, sure, it's cheap. I mean, the only thing, I'm sorry to say this, but the only reason why I'm going to put the G305 in S tier is just for one thing and one thing only. It's just modding. The sensors not, the skates aren't even that good, the switches aren't even that good. The weight is like, I believe 80, 90, 100 grams or something. But the reason why I only put S tier on is because you can take out internals and put it into a different mouse, so you can have a wireless mouse with the same internals from the G305, but with a different shape. Or make it lighter by 3D printing a different shell to make it lighter, or somehow make it rechargeable. And that's the one reason why I put it into S tier. But stock, it's really not great. Okay, next is going to be, let's start with the Ultralight X from Finamouse. So my first unit, D tier. This is the batch 2 version, by the way. So they did put the thing under battery, so it wouldn't catch any dust or hair or whatever. But when I got this, I was like, wow, this is unreal. Like, a wireless mouse that weighs this light is incredible, right? But my unit did have flaws. Flexing on the bottom and flexing on each side. The coating was really bad. On my 20ms, again. And and the coating was not good as my 10 Starlight Pro. And they're both for the same size, and I was just gonna say the 10's one is better. My first Ultralight X, so that's why it's going to high D2. Okay, next mouse is going to be the ASUS edition, and I'm going to actually put this into B tier. One, it's pretty much like close to the shape. Therefore, yes, I got the large size ULX Aceu. They have some of the best mechanical switches. The Juana blue shell pink dots are better coding. I don't say better coding in both of them. But with Finalmouse, there's always a catch. For one, it had discoloration issues, like the Tarek one did. And I guess why I stopped using it. I mean, sure, I have it right here. I don't use it because I don't want to make it look even worse. And sure, it's a really good mouse with the performance. Like, both of them have 8,000 polling rates as well. X panel is really good software, by the way. But I'm just nervous I'm just afraid of the whole discoloration issue, which that's the main reason why I also stopped using my F58 as well, because it looks nice if it doesn't discolor. The Starlight 2 never had a problem. Neither the Tenz last version or the original. But if you're buying a mouse, just make sure if anyone has discoloration issues before buying, which I give out as much because personally I just like the color and the coding is just better pretty much. But that's why I don't use it anymore, because I'm afraid it'll just look terrible. Alright. The last Finalmouse, the Sakura, which released before the Frost Lord edition. Oh boy, this is gonna be a tough one. Am I crazy to actually put it into S tier? My unit is flawless. I mean, sure, some people have issues. Boardsy had his problem as well, but my unit does not have any problems. Actually, I know it's crazy that the ASUS unit does have red coding this, but they had to update it so no discoloration issues. But the clicks actually feel better than my ASUS units. And I like how it has no holes on the sides, which is a bonus to me, so that's why it goes up a bit, because I could just not stand massive holes on the sides anymore. I'm sorry. I just can't stand them. And I like how the scroll is quieter too, so that's one thing I like. And also, they did finally make the price go down. What used to be $109 is now $175, which, you know, that means it's, I think, cheaper than the Superlight 2 if you keep the price the same at $175. This, I mean, sure, the thing with Finalmouse that their products never go on sale, like with Lightspeed with the Superlight 2 will probably be on sale as well, and they have the Superlight 2 SE, which is just a cheaper version, and they have a smaller one too. But it's lighter than the Superlight 2C, which is a smaller version of the Superlight 2 at 51 grams. This is like 40, a little bit more than 40, less than 40, I believe. But I believe you can also make the Superlight 2C the same way as this by just like doing some mods to that mouse. But it does have my favorite switches still, the Juana blue shell pink dots. That's what but I don't put it as here just because my unit has some problems and the clicks feel better than my AC unit, and I like just how it has holes on the side. Okay, now let's talk about the Superlight 2 ERGO It's gonna be going B2 for me. One, I mean, sure, the shape is good, but personally, I just am I'm just more of a fan of the Superlight 2 shape. And also, I'm not a big fan where the side buttons sit right there near the top. Which are a little bit lower. Kind of like with the G703. Like, I think they're like, the G703 side buttons are like in the middle. That's what I mostly prefer. You know, not just a big fan how like small they are either. Or sure, the side buttons are a little bigger. Because it's an ERGO mouse, obviously. Because, like, I'm just a big fan of larger side buttons, and I don't know why the Logitech just made this side button smaller. I'm sorry, what was I saying? I wish it was just a little bit bigger on the ERGO Superlight 2. And I'm just a big fan of where the side buttons are placed even. Because I can't stand them. I prefer the side button placement on the G Pro Wireless, the Superlight, and the Superlight 2. So that's why it's going to be B tier. But the reason why it's above the original Superlight is because it has better specs and this one here to sensor air performance, blah 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 blah. Okay, and next is going to be Lamzu Thorn. Oh, this is an interesting one. Might put in B tier. The reason why you don't use suspension is because Razer opticals. I mean, sure, the weight is good, the performance is good, but the software as well. I did have the Fanatic edition, which was an orange colorway, which looks very nice. I'll put it up on screen for y'all to see it. And I'm gonna say right now, the reason why I put B tier is also because like it's too small for me as well. I mean, sure, assignments are nice, but Razer optical switches and anything else, like it's just so uncomfortable after a few hours. I mean, sure, the scroll wheel is good, but that's the reason why I'm gonna put in B tier. Okay, the next mouse is going to be the Lamzu Atlantis. I'm going to put this in A tier. The reason why is because I really do like the shape, I like the switches. Switches. And this was a really good mouse. It was pretty much like back then whenever EndGameGear didn't release a wireless XM1, but now we had the XM2. The Lamzu Atlantis was like pretty much the wireless lightweight version, and somehow it is still lighter than XM2 wireless. But now Lamzu has the Pero, the Inca, the Tachi, the Maya X, which I believe the Maya X is now their most popular mouse, since now the Maya X has a better sensor, on obstacles as well, more colors than the Atlantis. But when the Atlantis release, it's like so hyped up. It was like, oh, people are comparing it to the Pulsar X2, the first one, by the way. If you're wondering, this is not the original. If you're wondering, this is not the original X2. But it was really popular at the time as well, and a lot of people did like it. I think the reason why it's popular is when it was popular back then is because there's a clip of Tenz using it when he still played Valorant. When he was a pro. I mean, sure, he still did the game, but I think that's another reason, but no high polling rates, it's only like 1000 hertz. Had 3395, so it was good too as well. But I want to put it into A tier, since I just prefer over the Thorn too. Okay, next is going to be ASUS ROG Keris 2 Ace. Let's just put in these here. Just make sure it has good specs, 8000 hertz polling rates, 54 grams. Stock skates are pretty good as well, but the side buttons are small, and I do have it on my desk right now. This is for my second PC, but I also use the Basilisk V3 Pro for editing on my computer. So it's on my desk right now. It's pretty because like as you can see, like the side buttons are small. So I'm just gonna have to put into these here. Okay, 4 more mice to go, and next one we're talking about is the Razer Orochi V2. As you can see here, this was like Razer's answer, or Razer's version of the G305, but doesn't have a good sensor like the G305. I believe the Razer Orochi, because I don't actually remember what the max DPI of that Orochi V2 was. I think it's more than 10,000. It has to be, I think it has to. I'll put it on the screen, so yeah. I don't remember what the DPI was, but it does have Razer's mechanical switches. You can change the top plate off, but yes, it does use batteries. So, but I do like the feeling of switches, and some it's more than G305, but I'm not sure if people mod their Orochi V2, or I'm not sure there's much of like a modding community for the Orochi V2 besides just changing out the top plate to look somewhere completely different. Okay, next is going to be Razer Basilisk V3 Pro. A tier for sure. I really do like this mouse for editing as well. I mean, sure, I just browse like OBS or whatnot using the ASUS ROG Keris 2 Ace, but I do not use this mouse for editing anyways. And this mouse is really good. It's very comfortable. Change opticals, it's like a better version of the G5, which I probably said it whenever I talked about the wired V3. Let's see. And I feel good. This mouse is like it's mostly for palm grip as well. But I would not recommend this for gaming because it's like 110 something grams. And you can just use this with Razer's new charging dock, which is like $70, but one reason I'm not saying it's almost as I just plug in a cable and I just go back to editing videos again. And that's why I'm going to put an 8 here as well. Okay, next mouse is going to be the Pulsar X2 Crazylight. S tier mouse as well, and I really like the shape of this mouse. The clicks feel good, as well as sign buttons are good. The weight is pretty impressive. Web-based software like Finalmouse and Lamzu and Finamouse, but the software's pretty alright. Don't know why when you take out of the box and goes to software, there's a 2 millisecond debounce time even though it uses optical switches. I just set it back to 0 since, like, why would you want to do that if they're using opticals? I mean, sure, they're not using on-run opticals like the Sora V2. You're using the Pulsar optical switches, which are their FE switches. It's the same brand that has their switches in the Superlight, which like is the like modernized version of the G703. So the scroll looks nice, but I know a lot of people have problems where the left click stops working after a few months. So I'll let you guys know in a future video if that ever happens in my units. For now, Pulsar X2 Crazylight is going to S tier, but that could change whenever I do another tier list in a few months. Okay, and the Finamouse Deathadder V4 Pro S tier. This is currently the mouse I'm using, and I gotta say, one of the best gaming mice I've used. I mean, sure, it's not cheap, but still, the shape of it is really good. Side buttons are separated, which I mostly prefer instead of having them close together. And it does have their Gen 4 optical switches, and I believe there might be a Viper V4 Pro this year. Who knows? And the skates are really good. Build quality is really good as well. And overall, I just gotta say it is a fantastic mouse. And yeah, so it's going to be S tier. And yeah, so 38 mice we talked about in this video. And let me know if you would like change what mice are in like each tier. Let me know in the comments. I'll read all of them as well. And let me know what mice I should review this year down in the comments. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys later this week for another review on another mouse.